Hi, so in this video I thought instead of writing a lot about how to use this map, I thought I'd just make a video to demonstrate sort of how to use the map. So this is sort of the new map prototype that I created. And there's a couple of new functions and so this is sort of the basic view of the map. Um, so I'm just going to go one by one down these different functions. Here's a legend. This button's kind of useless because all the dots look exactly the same. But so this button's interesting. You can toggle off different layers depending on what a patient wants. So let's say a patient wants, say, primary care, and she also wants dental, but she doesn't want anything, or she or he doesn't want anything else. You can actually toggle those layers on and off, and only those layers will show up. So that's one way to filter the results that shows up. And then this is this button, the Near Me button, is exactly the same as on the other web map that I created. You just type in an address. So I'm just going to type in my address. And it'll pop up within how many miles. You can toggle that. So let's say 3 miles, all the different resources that you can have. So that's one way of showing the different resources. There's a couple of other features. Let's see, there's a couple of other ways in which you can click to pick which features that you want to show. I think the most interesting one would be the select button here, so I just click that. And the default is all of these layers are selected, but let's just say that a patient wants, say, dental and primary care again. Only dental and primary care. And then let's say a patient lives in Brickell, and so you can actually select all of Brickell and only specific results will show up. The other way that you can toggle that is by going down here, deselecting all the layers, like so, selecting, say, primary care and dental only, click on the minimize button, and then go to select, and then like physically select on the map where a patient is. So let's just say a patient lives in the Jackson area. So we can select the Jackson area, like manually select the Jackson area, and it'll actually pop up all the results that come out. And then the interesting thing about this is you can actually, so let's say all the primary care results came out, you can actually click this and click export to CSV file. And that actually will pop up an Excel spreadsheet of the results that came out. So you can actually create like custom Excel spreadsheets, or you can automatically just basically put all the resources that come out into an Excel spreadsheet and then print out that one Excel spreadsheet for the patient. So that's another way in which you can select resources. There's something called group filter, which I just enabled. And basically, instead of selecting each layer one by one, you can like, it's basically like a Google search of all the layers. So let's just say a patient really wants HIV services or something. So you can just say contains HIV, click apply, and then click minimize again. And then only the resources that offer HIV services will pop up on the map. So you can do that. And then two final things. One is the share button. This is basically the email. So say a patient wants to access the map on their own, they can actually do it on their cell phones as well. I think the map is cell phone friendly, so you can email it to themselves. So they can email it to themselves. So you just click that button and that'll pop up sort of your like default email sort of options there. And then the second thing I wanted to point out is the print button. This actually just prints out the map. I don't think it actually prints out like specific details, but that button does exist. For example, if you just want a patient to see say, primary care resources in, say, the area surrounding Jackson, you can zoom to that and then click print. So that's an option. And then what I'm showing here, which don't know if I'll pop up. Oh, great, perfect. So this is sort of like an Excel spreadsheet of all the resource statuses that pop up. So let's say let's say a patient only wants primary care or dental. Let's just say primary care. So let's say a patient only wants primary care. They live in the Jackson area. You click on the select button on top of that. Minimize this, move this to the side, and select certain resources that are around. And so these 4 dots are selected. You can actually then click on this button, the attribute button, and those specific resources will pop up, if that makes any sense. Like only those specific resources will pop up. Sorry, I'm actually very much still experimenting with this myself. But let's say they also want dental, so you can click that. Sorry about that, I was just experimenting. So the cool thing is, say a patient only wants primary care and dental, and they live in this area. I'm just using an example, and you draw, say you click the select button, you draw this, you can actually see how many resources there are that are around. I think I messed this up, so I'm just going to reselect. So it pops up both primary care and dental, and what you could do after that is click View an Attribute Table, and this will pop up. It'll only show those resources that you selected, and then you can actually just like manually copy and paste this into an Excel spreadsheet, and you can or into like a Word document, and you can actually print out that Word document or that Excel spreadsheet too. So yeah, honestly, there isn't really a good way to demonstrate this. I just created it. But, and the GUI is, there's a minimize option. You can actually move the windows around. So these individual widgets, it's kind of like using like a Mac desktop or something. You can open multiple widgets at the same time. There isn't really a good way to explain it. I encourage you to really just play around with it more. And that's probably the easiest way to figure it out. So I think this is really cool. I hope you'll find it cool too. So thank you.